I'm pressing towards the mark of the highest calling.
And no matter what comes my way,
I'm not stressing.
Well, hello and hello again. We would like to welcome you to another edition of the Living Strong Television Network broadcast, where I am your guest speaker, Prophet Scotty Lee Johnson. On the behalf of the Whosoever Will Outreach Ministry, 2121 Tillman Highway. We are located right here in the beautiful city of Ridgeland, South Carolina, under the leadership of none other than Pastor Josie M. Bostick, along with Dr. Earl Bostick Sr., DMD. What you need to do right now is realize that Fastest 30 Minutes is about to start. So you need to call a friend, call a neighbor, and let them know that Living Strong is on, and you can't go wrong when you're watching and living strong. The Bible declares that the word of the Lord, it is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of bone and marrow. And you know what? That word also is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. Tonight is prophetic release, and I want you to know that the fastest 30 minutes starts right now. This is what is happening all over America. You are seeing it like never before. And I thank God for the leadership of this nation, the President of the United States. If you just noticed just recently the speech that he have given, it was a speech that reached out based upon a broad perspective of truth that reaches even to the epitome of mankind, and that goes across the barriers of each and every race, gender, creed, color, and kind. I would also like for you to know, take heed that even through this speech, you saw the equality in the truth. But now there is something I've got to share with every Living Strong viewer, and there is a word that God has given me. And I've got to slow down tonight and take my time and run through this, because this is prophetic release. I want you to know that the word that the Lord is sharing with me on tonight is to let you know that each and every Thursday night on prophetic release, he's going to give a corporate word, and he's given a corporate word. And I want you to make sure you've got your pen and your pencil, and you write down this corporate word that's going to come forth each and every Thursday night on prophetic release for each and every person that is watching Living Strong. Just recently, the President's speech of the United States depicted a level of truth that reaches into the core, in the essence of the creed of the nation itself, based upon the fact that all men are created equal in the eyes of God. And then again, on top of that, you will begin to see that now the release of what has happened based upon this truth, it is so astronomical until we have not seen anything like it before. And this is where the Bible declares, blessed is that nation that considers the poor. And I want you to know that they're scrambling everywhere all over the case. They call it the right side, which is really the far left side. And they call it the right side, but they're scrambling, seeking to find some injustice, to find some criminality, to find something wrong with this leader. But God has already weighed the balances in the scale, and he's already set forth his truth in his judgment. Blessed is the nation that considers the poor, that reaches out to all like you've never seen before. But what's so amazing is that you're seeing the stock market, you're seeing the S&P, and you're seeing the rich get richer and the wicked get more wickeder while they are getting rich. And this leader is allowing, watch this now, all of the growth to come in, everything he can do to come in. The president is doing it to make sure that everything spreads across the nation. He said it. Now what we're seeing is that even though you got some that are getting wealthy off of his plans, that are getting so fat off of all of the releases that has taken place across this nation, and still talking about it, still putting him down. Nothing ever good is said. Nobody cares as long as they hoard what they have that is right, and they use religion to cover it up. Well, I got news for this nation. Lord gave me a word, and you got to remember, we're advancing by 5 years. On this last leg, you're going to see the sword of the Lord come through this leader's mouth. And it's going to cut left and right based upon truth and equality. Because after this run, there will be no more. You mark that. And so what God is allowing now is for the leader to know that because you have considered the poor of this nation, he's saying, now I will consider my will in your life. And you will see God back this leader up, regardless of what happened on the left or the right, regardless of what they say about this or that, based upon the decisions of abortions or gay marriages or whatever. It is not going to matter to a hill of beans, because it's been happening throughout mankind. Now, the word that God has given each and every living strong viewer on tonight is that what you are going through and everything that is happening in your life, there is one corporate word that God gave me. He said, tell every one of them that it is temporal. Write that down, T-E-M-P-O-R-A-L. Write it down, temporal. Everything you're going through is just temporal for now, and what he's doing is breaking the temporals off your life. Hallelujah. Thank you for that anointing. We're coming out of the book of Deuteronomy on tonight, and this is prophetic release. And the Lord is beginning to just gear me up a little bit, but he's saying, let the people know that even coming off of time and chance would happen to them all. There is a rendering of this nation. There is a judgment that is just. There is a truth that is yet being unfolded. And every one of you that are watching Living Strong, the Father is saying to tell you that what you're going through is so temporal until the facts of it all is going to breed a truth like you've never seen before. Happiness, joy, peace, love, kindness, meekness, all of those gifts are just right at your doorstep. And the Father's saying to get ready, because once again, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. There's a person right now, you're watching on tonight, and you're in ministry, you're in leadership position. The Father's saying to tell you that your ministry is about to explode in a know-nothing, in a do-nothing city, because you have sought the Lord's way, you have sought the Lord's will, and you even prayed like Solomon prayed, God, just give me wisdom on how to lead the people that I've got. And because you've done that, the Lord said you're going to explode in a place of nothing that's going to cause you to have everything. There's a person watching on tonight, you're about to surrender, and the Lord is saying to tell you, no surrender. We don't surrender in this fight. The only time you surrender when you wave that white flag was when you received Jesus Christ into your life as Lord and Savior. For all of mine and thine are mine, and all that coming unto me, I will in no wise cast them out. So the Lord is saying to tell you that that he who have begun that work, he's going to finish it and perform it once again till the day of Jesus Christ. And so he's turning that elevator around, and God is saying to tell you, when you think it was going down, it's not, it's going up. So surrender is not an option. There's a person right now, you have a beckoning call, and that call upon your life is to have a child. The Lord is saying to tell you, you shall produce not only one, not only two, but 3 children shall come forth out of your womb. There's a person right now, you've applied for a job position for about 3 times, 2 times, and you 3 times at the most, and you just said 3 strikes and I'm out. The Lord is saying no. He's saying that he's going to give you favor, and don't just apply this time. Go talk back to someone in that job position, because God is going to give you favor and slip you in like you've never been slipped in before. There's a person right now, you've got a kite project to prove something once again, and I don't know if it's based upon science or whatever, and you're one of those type of person that kind of keep to yourself, and you're kind of looking back over the thing. Who was that flew that kite? Benjamin Franklin, or was that Benjamin Washington? Franklin flew that kite, or whoever, and that lightning struck it or whatever. They discovered electricity. But God is trying to tell you that once again, that what you're doing is that you're developing something about the wind, oh my God, and the current of the wind, and it's going to be a mighty breakthrough. And the Lord is saying, keep working on that project, because you might be the nerd, but you're going to be heard. Oh my God, brother, get ready, because God is getting ready for you to fly like never before. There's a person that's watching on tonight, and you're saying, God, the child is out of my hand. Hard-headed little boy. He's about out of my hand, and I don't know what to do with him about 14 years old. And the Lord is saying to tell you that now trouble is going to find him enough to beat him right back to the place that he needs to be in. There's a person that's watching tonight, and you've been concerned about how you're going to raise your child and where you're going to send your child. Your child is going to be going to private school, because you are not okay with public school, and you're not at peace with public school. And so the Father's saying to tell you, gear up, get ready. Oh, boom. Boom. There's a person that's watching me right now. You are a newscaster, and you're on a major television show, and you're saying that I'm going to check this guy out and see what he's all about. The Lord's saying to tell you that there's something that's happening in your body, and I want you to know right now that I've got to call it, okay? Let me call it so God can heal it. He's saying that the cancer that maybe have predicted inside of you that you're keeping secret, the Lord is saying, there goes, turn back now, turn back now. He's going to turn that in reverse. And every word that your mouth speaks based upon truth is going to continue to bring healing into your life like never before. And you've been wondering who to pass that mantle on to. Well, I got news for you. I'll meet you sooner or later. I can guarantee you that. I'll be seeing you soon. But God is saying to let you know that all is going to be well. Your time is not out, and he's going to keep your broadcast in view. And there's going to be a weight gain that's going to take place for you, and God is going to allow, oh my God, even the mechanism of your hair to grow back like never before and to be reset according to his work. There's a person that's watching me on tonight. You're thinking about getting married, and you're supposed to be getting married. If you haven't got the ring yet, the answer is no. No, no, and no. There's a person watching me on tonight, and the Lord is saying to tell you that you're up north past somewhere, the Virginia area, D.C., New Jersey, somewhere up there, New Jersey. You're watching in that area up there, and you're wondering about your movement. Yes, you will be moving from that area. Yes, you will be moving from that area. If you make up your mind, you're going to move from that area down into the southern state, because the Lord is saying to tell you that there's a depletion of your work, but there's an opening here for you. There's a person that desires to work on the Gulf Coast or offshores. You will be working on an oil rig, but you might, yes, there it goes. You might start from the shore, but you'll eventually hit an oil rig. There's a person watching me tonight. You've been having a skin rash for so long, and you've been trying to get rid of that. And the dermatologist, there goes, boom, again. There comes. Again, there's some type of, I don't know what this thing is, a parasite bug or something, and it's there. And God is you aloe, get some aloe, get something, aloe, but get something, because God is going to bring a supernatural healing to a skin rash that is in your life. There's a person watching me on tonight. You're concerned about what is happening in your mouth, sores, and everything else. The Father's saying to tell you that you're going to have to change your relationship in life. And when you do that, this healing will take place. You're afraid to go to the doctor to get things checked out. But God wants to bring healings against cold sores and things like that that's developing in your mouth and blisters. And God is bringing healing like never before. There's a person that's watching me right now. You've been having problems with your kneecap, left leg, and you've been wondering, God, are they going to amputate my leg, cut it off? I got to read. The Lord is bringing healing, snapping that knee right back in place like never before. There's a person watching me. You got a short little fat football player. His name is Chuck or Checker, something like that, Chucky, whatever. But anyway, he's a fat little football player, and he's going to be good. I want you to know, keep feeding that young man. He's going to grow up to be one of the greatest football players that you've seen like never before. And God is going to have him on that line. And just like Reggie Williams, God bless the dead, good Christian, good brother in the Lord. Thank God for him, because we know he's in the presence of the Lord. There's a person that's watching me on the night, and you're concerned about going to school. Well, it haven't even started yet. And you're concerned about getting school clothes and everything else for your children. And God is saying to tell you, relax, chill, don't worry about it. Faith coming by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. You walk by faith and not by sight. You call those things that be not as though they work. There's a person that sowed a seed even recently here, and I want you to know that expressions give the words of who you are. The Father's saying the dynamics of you is unfolding like never before, and there's a rebirth in your umbilical cord that's causing you to be healed by nature and by life and through the Spirit, and to be healed from past pain, present pain, past, present, and future pain. And the Father's saying to tell you that there's an unfolding of dynamics of love in a relationship in your life, and you're standing on the brink of a new flower like never before. There's a person watching me tonight, and you're a young man, there's a girl in your life, you just flat need to just dump her, because she's just holding you back on what you need to do for your future and everything else. And God is saying that where I'm getting ready to take you, you cannot be captured by the image of what you hope because of your present state. There's a person watching me on the night, and you're a young man, and you aspire to go to school, and you're stuck between becoming a lawyer and a social worker, and the Father's saying to tell you and you're stuck between the doctors and everything. You got about three different things: lawyer, doctor, social worker, and engineer. You got about those four things. And the Father's saying to tell you, oh my God, you are definitely, boy, you got your head on straight, don't you, young man? And well, call my name. You better believe I will. But because for the sake of others, I'm going to keep your secret on tonight. Don't make me do it. And the Father said to tell you that two of those missions that you are going to accomplish, and I see you going forth and marrying a very prolific young lady in life. There's a person that's watching me tonight, and you started a restaurant business. You might not like me too well, but I can tell you what, God is blessing your business, and I bid you Godspeed, and everybody that left with you, keep up the good work. There's a person that's watching me on tonight, and the Father's saying to tell you, you've been concerned about your hair and wondered if all of it's going to fall out. Well, I tell you what, let it get down to the naps, because every bit of it is going to grow back. There's a person watching me on tonight, and you're a high-class person that wears a white coat, and the Father's saying to tell you that you deal with a whole lot of people and smiles and frowns every day, and you put the best on the outside while you're working in your office, and the Lord said to tell you you're in position. And because you work in the position of that which requires you to wear that coat in the hospital or whatever case your profession may be. And I won't call out all of them. But God is saying to tell you, whether you're a foot specialist, a dentalist, or whether you work in a major hospital, he's saying to tell you put the best on the outside for everybody else. But it's not time for you to go ahead and live like you've never lived before. There's a young lady that's watching me on tonight, and you're saying, God, I cannot believe this guy. Will he ever minister to me? Let me me tell you something. Your profession, and you're separated from the other that wears the white coat that does everything else. This is another person. Your profession and your professional work has kept you separated from love and living. You can live and make all the money you want and miss the flower of your life. God said to tell you tonight that he's got a good word for you. You may be a late bloomer, but you're going to blossom. There's somebody that's watching on tonight, and you said, I'm intrigued with the message, and I'm wondering if I really should sow this $50,000 seed. You should have done it already. You still haven't done it. I told you that about 2 months ago. So keep praying and keep watching, and I'll keep preaching, and we'll keep teaching, and God will keep moving, and we'll keep reaching while you still sitting up wondering which way the ball is bouncing. Yes. And even as we continue on tonight, I want you to know that there's an advancement that God is giving in the lives of the people. I'm not going to stop because I'm coming out of Deuteronomy on tonight and I haven't gotten there yet, but we'll pick it up on tomorrow night. It's talking about the blessing of obedience. And you got to remember, we're talking about the return release. And there's a whole lot that is going on. But for the sake of Scripture, I want you to hear this. And it shall come to pass. What is it? Shall come to pass. And it shall come to pass. Stop right there. Don't read the whole Bible. You just read part of Deuteronomy that stops with the hyphen of the comma after it. And it shall come to pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the number of man. Whatever it is in the life of man, it shall come to pass. So God is saying whatever your it is, there is no doubt about that it shall, not that it might come to pass. But there's some prerequisites here based upon what your it is that's coming to pass. There's a person right now, the Lord is saying move forward. You're trying to get in a prestigious college, and you don't know how it's going to be done. You need at least $100,000 just for the, you know, that's kind of funny. 90 plus thousand for the first quarter. Let me tell you something. There's a miracle wind that is stirring your way. But you know, when God blesses people, it's amazing what they do. They forget about where the blessing comes from. Remember Joseph? He was in prison. You got the butler and the baker. Oh, both of them going to get released. But hey, one of you going to get restored back to your position. But one of you, your head is going to get plucked out. Guys, all I want you to do is just remember me. Well, they got out, and guess what? Neither one of them too much cared about Joseph, but remembered him until God forced it up on the king all over again to go back to remember where your blessings come from. I remember being under the gospel tent about 25 years ago. There was a lady from up north, probably around that same New Jersey area. God prophesied to her about 25 years ago that her son would be receiving about so much money, 85,000+. She got back up there in that northern part. He had received just that. I want you to know that she sent word back down south to tell me and said, tell that prophet down there under that gospel tent, he surely is a man of God. And I want to tell him thank you, because every word that he prophesied to me, God brought it to pass. And my son got all that money. We're sitting up here fat and we're happy, and we're not eating sardines and cornbread no more. And I just want you to know that it feels good to be done got away from buttermilk and cornbread. And I thank God for getting away from goat milks and cheese. But nevertheless, tell him that we can at least go to McDonald's now and get us a Big Mac and celebrate while we're sitting under the sun. Just make sure you tell that prophet thank you. You're always going to have takers, and you're always going to have givers. Takers are the ones that take, givers are the ones that give. You got folks that are sitting back and watch all over the whole world and say, isn't Memorex, it isn't real. If he's so good, then why don't he minister to us way over here in Africa? I know exactly where you are watching overseas in Nigeria and all the other places over there in London. Yes, I know that you're logging on. I know you're logging on in Japan over there. And even as this word is being translated and coming to you, you're saying, thank God, because God is saying that I'm getting ready to give you a way out of no way. There's about 12 to 1,200 people watching me on tonight. And God is saying to tell you, your ship, yes, your ship is coming in. That's to ship you out of one position into the next. I want you to know that the things that are despising you, and for those of you that are watching Living Strong on tonight, Living Strong viewers, God is saying to tell you everything that despised you and tried to put you down. There's a person watching me on tonight. You sow a seed into your need, and then God will get out all of the weeds that are in your garden. You understand what I'm saying? Weeds choke out because you don't sow seeds to get them out. Whenever God reaches out, Father reaches out, oh my God, you know what? I heard something I ain't never heard before, and I'm going to say it tonight. And Lord, I might get a letter on this, but I'm going to take a risk on it. But the Father said to tell you it's time to come off the plantation. Hold up. That's right. It's time to come off the plantation of your mindset, of your ideology, of your thought process. Oh my God. I'd rather live in a mountain on a hill with a wood stove and be happy. If that's where my peace is, that's where my joy is, oh, there is nobody that I think love the world and love how God created everything. But we're living in a garbage can compared to where we're going. This is a junkyard. This place won't even pass AAA test. Where we're at right now, we'll get an F minus, maybe double F if plus that. With what God has for us is so amazing, so astronomical. This New Jerusalem that goes up so many stories high. You talking about a high rise. You haven't seen a high rise. Could you imagine living in an apartment that reaches into the cloud? And your address is called right up under God's feet? And all you got to do is turn down the big toenail of where his feet is, and your house is the first one on the right, sitting up under that clear, white, golden toenail of God. Wouldn't that be amazing? And then to see him step out of the heaven past your house, become the same height you are, knock on the door and come in and sit down and sup with you. It's amazing how much love he has. If you return unto me, I will return unto you, O living strong viewers. If you give yourself a chance and you say, I may not be much in the number, and I'm going to take time, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to sow a seed, and I'm going to try my faith, and I pray that Father move on the behalf of every seed sower from the south coast to the east coast, from the east coast to the west coast to the north coast. And that he would break bread with you. And that you would go from faith to faith. And as you sow, you will act on that seed and stand in anticipation. You've given to everything else big. Try something that's on the cutting edge. Try something unknown. Isn't it amazing that they're still looking for Bigfoot, and some people have probably already killed Sasquatch? It doesn't matter whether there's a Loch Ness monster or not. You would be stunned to know what is on the face of this earth besides human beings. Hint, hint. You'd be shocked. If you could see half the demons that I've seen, cast out and walking on the side of a mountain in the desert in dry places. I've entered into their domain. I've seen Satan's sepulcher sitting in the second heavens. I've saw his throne that's made out of dead man's bones. His chair and his armrest is made out of the skeleton of man's arm. His leg rests are made out of the legs of man's legs. When you see this and know this, you're not worried about what's on earth that you can see. You best focus on what you can't see. Because we walk by faith and not by sight. Hearing come by the word of God. You're going to see God use the President of the United States like you've never seen him before. How can you hate someone that is trying to help everyone? My God, I'm so sick of racism until the game is over. I'd like for you to know fast as 30 minutes, it is already come and gone. And for those of you who had prophetic release come to you tonight, keep what you got. I want to say to you that I love you, thank God for you, and remember that whatever you do, always live to love and love to live. Have a good night. Bye now.
Forgive my daily behavior is what I say to my Savior before I fall asleep. Yeah, for the record, Lord is my shepherd, bless him, we all a sheep, they call it street. Quick crush the autumn leaf and then call it peace for the conqueror. About my collar leash, now the walls are breach, we all a meet. Heaven's what we all a meet. Preach.